Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to add Bluetooth to an old school radio. This is particularly the use case of a radio with a mechanical volume knob, a potentiometer or a pot. That's going to give us a safe place to tap into and send our Bluetooth signal somewhere. So here I picked up a Bluetooth board, a real cheap one off Amazon. Real quick rundown of the board. The squiggly lines over here are the antenna. This is the volume knob. We have the Bluetooth chip here, and then this is an amplifier chip with two capacitors. Then we have a plug, kind of like a laptop plug for power, and then we have right positive negative, left positive negative. So pretty simple setup. All we got to do is find the wire on the potentiometer to tap into, and we just did this with an auxiliary input. So if you want to add aux instead of Bluetooth, I'll have the video link in the description, but same sort of concept, same wire we're going to tap into here. So this volume knob, I have the radio flipped over with the case off. This volume knob, this is the back side of it. You see the wire on the top, and it's hard to see, but there's two wires down there on the bottom. A potentiometer has three wires. One of them is going to be the wiper. That's going to be our signal wire. That's the one we want to tap into. And easy way to find it with a multimeter is it's going to be the one with the least amount of voltage coming out of it. So in this case, the wiper is the one on the top. It's this green one. So all we have to do is tap into this wire. We're going to splice into it. We don't even need to solder off of it. So to put this down as a diagram, volume pot has three terminals and it connects to the radio PCB in three places. Doesn't matter where, but this is the basic concept. Now to add aux, we had this diagram, and again, link to that video if you want to add aux instead. But the idea was the wiper terminal, whichever one it is on your radio, this is the one we needed to tap into. Now with an aux, you add the aux in the middle of the wiper wire that connects from the pot to the radio PCB. So as you see, it bridges the gap here, and it's a switch. Now with Bluetooth, we can tap and splice directly into this connection here. So all we can do is just solder our wire right onto the top of that terminal, and we are good. Now this is the pinout for this Bluetooth module here. So we have right positive, left positive. That's going to get a resistor, and then we have the negatives. Those are going to connect. Those are going to be our grounds. We have it would help if I showed you this. This is our plug for the power, positive and negative. One of them, the positive needs to be switched. So you have to find switched power somewhere where it only turns on when the radio's on. Otherwise you're going to drain your battery, obviously. But yeah, we just have to splice into the wire. No desoldering, no cutting, nothing. Now because the Bluetooth board is stereo output, as I said, and my radio is mono, so we need to convert stereo to mono. The way to do this is two resistors of equal value. That will slow the input down. They'll go through the resistance, and that way they won't fight with each other and cause heat or damage or anything like that. So that's a way of slowing the inputs down to merge into one, and then we're good from there. Now I've been playing around with this circuit a little bit with the resistors I have laying around, and this is what I've come up with that I think sounds the best and works the best with what I'm using here. So I went with a 1K ohm resistor on the right positive and the left positive, so that converts stereo to mono, and then I went with a 7.4 kilo ohm resistor. Now this, once we converted stereo to mono, because the Bluetooth board here has a built-in amplifier, we need to turn the volume down before it goes to our built-in amplifier on the radio and then the output speakers. Otherwise the audio is just going to be clipping and it's going to be distorted and just sound bad. So this was the resistor I found. helped. Now, resistance values aren't necessarily very crucial, just the fact that you have something there to resist the input flow. So you may not need a 7.4, you can get away with maybe a 6 kilo ohm or something around there. Just whatever you have lying around in a rough range that's higher than this resistance. And then with the negative for the speaker outputs, I found if I just need to loop them together with the 1 kilo ohm resistor, and because current will take the flow of least resistance, the negative is going to say, hey, there's a resistor here. I'm going to take the path of this negative. And because this negative for the audio output isn't actually audio output, it's just a ground or a path to ground for the speaker. And the radio is taking care of path to ground for the speaker. So we're good there. That's why we can do that. Now, I'll mention that probably will only work if your radio and speaker system have the same ground. You know, some, and especially modern day grounds on speakers, aren't the same as your chassis ground or your battery ground. So be mindful there. So this is my resistor pair, and then this is going to be the one on the negative to loop those together. Now let's build it all together. Alright, we have this Bluetooth board all wired up with my jumper cables. We got the resistors into place. Found a switched key power on the volume pot on one of the terminals. There was switched power. Don't know if all pots are like this. I'm assuming probably not. This might be a Delco specific, so you'll just have to play around, but there'll be a switched power somewhere in your radio. So we have it all hooked up. Now let me turn it on. We're on AM. As you hear, the audio is still playing, so we didn't lose radio functionality at all. Switch to FM. Turn my Bluetooth on. And we do have Bluetooth music. And it's pretty loud. There you have it. We have Bluetooth working on this old school radio. Now, since we're using the amplifier in the radio itself, this amplifier, it's not very good. It's old technology, so it's not very powerful. It's just not very good. And the radio itself could probably use a refresh to clean up some of it, but for what I needed for this is perfect. So now that we know that it works, we can work on finding a spot to put this. Now, there's not enough room. It's too wide to fit in here. We're not going to be able to fit it sideways because it's too tall. So let's flip the radio over, and I think I know a spot in the back that we can put it. Over here on the top side of the radio with the top removed, this is what I think I'm going to go with to put the Bluetooth module. So we have some gaps here, so the antenna has clear signal to go through that. The power wire, that's the toughest part because it's long and bulky, but it fits just fine, and it's not rubbing or touching anything that it shouldn't be. And even if we needed more room, we could remove this power plug and just solder a positive and a negative terminal on, but for the time being, this will work, and it gives me a good wire to use out here, so that's good. We have the volume knob here in case we ever want to reach behind and boost it up or turn it down, besides just using the volume knob itself. But I think this is going to be the spot, so let's start building the wires. Got some heat shrink, got some shielding, so I'm trying to do this right. Alright, here it is all assembled in. So I went with this hole, the one closer to the pin. That way I'd have room for this connector for the transistor, the output transistor. Yeah, it fits in good. Let's see the other side. I'll show you the wiring. Okay, so the signal wire is all heat shrinked, and I wrapped, and I took an old USB cable, cut it open, and grabbed the shielding in there and just shielded it. Not sure how much that's going to help, but hey, it's better than nothing. So that's going there. And then we have our ground connected to this post here that bolts to the chassis, and then the switch is tied into that terminal in the pot down there. So we are good. Alright, so this is the truck the radio is going into. We have it all put together now, and all you see on the back is this little volume knob, which basically we want to set it to the max volume without clipping, and then turn it down just a little bit. It's a set it and forget it kind of deal. Now I already verified there's enough room back here to put it. So yeah, let's throw this radio in. Alright, we got the radio installed and the speaker. And as you see, it totally looks factory from this side. I haven't put the rest of the dash together. That's still got more work to do with the dash off, so. But turn to the key to the on position. Let's go to AM. So AM works, FM. My FM does not, but as you know, this is a perfect spot for me to put my music on. So Bluetooth is amazing. Bluetooth 5.0, it automatically connects. I don't have to go on my phone and connect it. So this was a total success. And that was how to add Bluetooth to your old school AM FM radio. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.